Chapter 59. Michael. If there's anything I can do to help with the wedding stuff, just let me know, Dan says as we stand by the kettle. Thanks, I answer hollowly. It's not the wedding I'm worried about so much. I'm supposed to be running a marathon in the morning. What? As in the morning of the wedding? Dan does a double take. Shh, I hush him. Jen doesn't know about the clash. Well, that's a recipe for disaster. I shrug helplessly. I don't know what to do. I'm raising money for a kid who's got cancer, and David's plastered my face on posters all over Whitlock. Why can't he get someone else to do it? It is your wedding, after all. I've been doing all the training for months now. I can't just ask someone to fill in, I point out. Plus, it's my mistake. Marathons are usually on Sundays. I must have completely missed it in my diary. I don't suppose running it the day after your wedding would be much better, Dan says. Look, Michael, don't take offence at this, but sometimes you've got to let things go. I know you've trained, and I know you might disappoint people, but at the end of the day, you're getting married, and that's more important. One of the parents is making a 10 grand donation. 10 grand! That's a lot, Dan concedes. But it's the principle. Even if someone came along with 10 million, your wedding takes priority. David thinks I can do both. The fact that I'm using David's argument should alarm me. It starts at 9 a.m. I'll be done by 12:30. Wedding starts at 2 o'clock. What if you break your leg or something? Unlikely, I scoff. You need to tell Jen, Dan says. I sigh. You saw how much pressure she's under right now. I don't want to make things worse. The whole point of you getting married is that you're going to share everything, Dan says. You go through life together, sharing your burdens and helping each other through. You can't fly solo anymore, Michael. I'll try and talk to her, I promise. The next day, Dan and Katie ping messages back and forth on the WhatsApp group, and the hen stag date is fixed for March. Dan promptly creates another group for the stags. My phone has gone into meltdown. Setting it to one side, I look at our marriage prep assignment. I have to choose a compliment or positive quality to describe Jen for each letter of her name. I find a sheet of letter paper and write Jennifer down the side, like an acrostic. I'm essentially doing a Year 7 poetry homework task. As much as I tried to forget it, Dan's reaction when I told him about the marathon troubles me. After all, he's a happily married man. I'm choosing not to listen to his advice, but to the laissez-faire attitude of bachelor David Clark, who doesn't tend to hold down a long-term relationship. Plus, Jen would argue that I shouldn't listen to David full stop about anything. But the thought of pulling out revolts me. It goes against the core of my being. I've said I'll do something, so I should do it. It was technically a prior commitment before I got engaged. I'm furious at my own mistake, and I just can't accept that I will have to relinquish one of these two things. My training plan is all in place. I'm confident that my predicted race time is accurate. Why should I pull out and waste all that training? What would Bradley's parents think? I think I should broach the subject of potentially changing the date with Jen. I chickened out last time because of the invites, but I need to speak up. I open up my phone and the WhatsApp groups are full of unread posts. Katie's posted a wedding countdown, which gives us an exact breakdown of the days and hours before April the 12th. 88 days, 14 hours. Maybe it's better to talk in person. I'll wait until tomorrow.